Hello guys. I hope you all are doing well. This is 11th of December 2025. Wanted to give you a little bit of just like a market update. And anything that I'm going to be talking about here is not a financial advice. This is just a video for educational purposes. And it's just the way how exactly I do review the market. And you need to do your own analysis when it's coming to the market or trading the market or investing in the market. So let's start with the chart that it's the most important one in regards to Bitcoin. Um, so Bitcoin, I mean, I'm still into the same exact opinion about having Bitcoin that is just in a range. More or less, these are the levels that I'm paying attention to at 88,300. And we can put also one more to the upper side if in case still she has the capacity and the room to go to the upper side. At these levels, you need just to be mindful of a few things. One of them that we could see still a recovery that might happen from here. It's very possible to see that. At the same time, maybe you still have the capacity to come to the downside and chop a little bit to the downside. Well, I'm gonna go on a lower time frame so we can discuss it all, and maybe just chop here and just like start trapping some shorts at around these levels. Then you might start seeing some kind of a recovery from here. Just from, as I said, like just a range bound, nothing more, nothing less. Now, this is just like, the whole part of how exactly I'm thinking about it. Losing this area and, dipping under it, coming to sweep, then move to the upper side, then lose it one more time. I think in that time you will be coming, like, let's say, to trade part of this inefficiency and maybe to come again to the 82 region. Now, going on a lower time frame, just something that I want to again to clear it for you guys. I mean, we got this level, which is usually I do somehow give it to you guys and just we trade usually with a bias because of these levels. I mean, today we are Thursday. So mainly, like, let's say, the moves are already finished at around these levels for this week. And specifically that I told you, like, let's say that I'm looking more into trading, intra-week and intraday setups. So what exactly the probability that you might see it here? There is still a probability that you might see some kind of a recovery. We swept this liquidity here, but we didn't sweep this liquidity that it's sitting at around these levels. So just from a normal, just sessions trading, just focusing on sessions trading, there is a probability that you might see it, like, let's say, that drop and sweep to the downside, sweeping this area and this region. Then you will be also sweeping Asia for today. And then you might see, like, let's say, some kind of a recovery toward these levels, and then we will see what exactly it's going to happen. But for me, like, let's say, as a weekly trade, really, I don't have, like, let's say, a lot to give it to you from here. The only thing that I can give it to you is just to focus on this, like, let's say, to be literally I would say a range. But there is something also you need to take into consideration, that this is the pivot level that we do have it here. So I do have this level, which is it's the 90,360. Now, something to pay attention to, that you lost this level on a 4 hours candle closing. So you really can't get into a bias of a long till you're gonna, reclaim this level or maybe come to lower levels. But I mean, from here, there is really nothing, like, let's say, that you can put yourself in a long from around these levels. Reclaim of this level, maybe you start trading some of the inefficiency that you do have it here and here. And this 4 hours candle is still looking like kind of heavy. So the best part definitely is just to drop under it. And then after that, if there is a move, like, let's say, to the upper side, could be, something that you might see some kind of a recovery. Tomorrow also is Friday. with the way how exactly the market moved in general this week, I would say there is a decent probability that BTC, first of all, it's not really gaining a clear acceptance above the monthly open, and that's a whole part. So if you would be looking like, let's say, mainly for the monthly open, just for us, like, let's say, to put it, which is it's coming again at the 90,000. It's the weekly open and the monthly open, both of them, like, let's say, together. So we're not really, like, let's say, gaining that clear acceptance and to hold above it and to sustain above it. That's the whole thing. But at the same time, if you will think about it on what exactly happened here, it's literally nothing. So there is still a decent probability that you might see, like, let's say, lower levels, and continue to lower levels, start coming into this inefficiency, and then maybe within tomorrow or maybe even over the weekend, there could be some kind of a moves to the upper side into rebalancing the weekly candle. Now, did we sweep, like, let's say, a major liquidity into this area? Yes and no, to be honest with you. Because for me, the major liquidity that I would consider it's this area. All right. We swept previous week, that's right. And now we started getting the acceptance again under the 90,360, which it opens, the door, like, let's say, to go to the downside. But for me, if I'm looking at this, like, this is not really the major liquidity from the moment that we dropped. Like, when you are looking at areas that where exactly we dropped, exactly, we dropped from this block. So this is literally the liquidity that I need to see the price, sweeping it. And then I would say, like, just to sweep this level. And if by any chance we started again coming and losing this area and started getting the acceptance under it and started losing the yearly open again and struggling here, then fine. I would say, like, fine. That's a clear deviation. And we can't really, like, let's say, look into any other place. Now, so for me, it's still like it's just a range bound. You need to be too selective when it's coming, like, let's say, to playing these kind of setups. The best part was for me showing, like, let's say, this demand from here and earlier, like, let's say, from the weekend, and that's the trade. If I'm not gonna hold the trade as a swing trade, I'm not really willing to round the trip the whole place. Now, as we said, that we're going to be talking also about other setups, which I'm going to be going, like, let's say, into ETH. And let's go into a clean chart, started just like, from nothing. So the thing that you can see it here, that look what exactly happened into ETH. Definitely the candles, by the way, on the weekly time frame, it's cleaner than BTC, definitely. Especially with this kind of a formation that you had it here. But still, like, you see the demand that it happened here. You swept this area. You were able to sustain the price above the pivot level from this weekly candle from the moment that we opened the week and we reclaimed, we started just trading above it and you started trading to the upper side. Now, for me, if I'm looking at ETH, this is what you are doing. You are trading this imbalance, this imbalance. You are trading it, like, let's say, into this area. We swept major liquidity also, which is I'm going to talk about it. But on the monthly time frame, this is what we have. That's your pivot level for the month. We didn't sweep the monthly candle. If I'm looking at this just as a normal, monthly range, this is your range, and this is the area that you do have. Pretty much you traded mid of the range of the month, a little bit even more. And now we will see what exactly the price is going to do it. Will we sustain this area and BTC start pushing also to the upper side, or we're going to start having some kind of a weaknesses and we're going to start rolling down, coming again into this area, the 2,990. Now, if you started losing the 2,990 and you started, struggling at around these levels, then again, this inefficiency will be on the table. But for me, the way how exactly we played and the way how exactly we moved at around these levels, and we just, like, ended up in these kind of formations. For me, these kind of formations, still I do consider them to be poor highs, and a lot they get, like, let's say, trapped into aggressive longs from here. But if you will be looking at it, still it's just like a kind of a range bound. Now the 3 days time frame candle, it's the one that I'm paying attention to it. So we do have a 3 days time frame candle that we got an acceptance above the pivot on the monthly time frame. We are trading this in efficiency that we do have it here. We came and we grabbed a little bit of like, let's say, a liquidity, but it's not the major one that I'm looking at it. So if the price rejected, I would say from here as an example, I would say that, look, no, this is more of a rejection. But look where exactly we broke down this area, which is, by the way, it's the first interest, and this area also. So there is really a decent probability that we might come and we sweep these levels and we struggle here, or we struggle here, and then after that we start looking like, let's say, for a price to continue to lower levels. Now, the way that I'm looking at it, I'm looking just like maybe this move, it's gonna move, into December to the upper side, but I'm not looking for all-time high and just bottoming and all these kind of things. It's still fresh. I mean, fresh month that we started it 11 days ago. I don't expect anything to happen after the 20th, the 25th, like let's say when we started the Christmas and the New Year. But looking at this, like let's say if I'm looking at the yearly candle, it's looking like a clear indecision candle that we do have it. Like we dropped all the way to the downside, we swept previous year, swept previous year high. So most probably it's going to be something mostly into next year. So that's the whole thing. So if you will be trading, you will be trading like literally again intra-week trades. You don't have really much, to rely on it and just to deal with it. You don't have much. So you need just to be super selective when it's coming to these plays and just make sure that you're not really putting yourself into some kind of aggressive plays into the end of the year. I don't see really any kind of high confluence on playing swings. That's the whole part. So that's a kind of structure that I'm looking at it. This area still, it's on the table to come and to sweep and maybe to trade here one more time. And yeah, I mean, we did it. I don't consider that we rejected really from a major area, but the same at the same time, you need to pay attention to something that we're trading really on a low volume all across the board, including, by the way, Nasdaq, including Nikkei, including like, let's say, all the assets. It's the end of the year, so you don't really have that much confluences when it's coming, like, let's say, to a lot of setups. Nasdaq, it's still like, it's not really giving any kind of retraces. It's not giving any kind of major moves. So it's just like too slow when it's coming to the plays and the moves. So the whole thing when we are looking at this is just, we need just like, to play with it just like week by week. And I think that's the safest play. To be honest with you, that's the best that I can give it to you when it's coming to these plays. Now, if I want also to look at something, especially on ETH when it's coming, like, let's say, to the quarterly, you traded into this quarter, but you didn't sweep the previous quarter, you didn't sweep the previous high, so still it's open, like, let's say, to see it trading still into maybe next quarter, like, let's say, to the upper side, and we continue chopping, because in general that's the only thing that you do have it, that it's happening here, where you're really trading around the monthly open in most of the assets, including, by the way, gold. So when you are trading around the monthly open, you don't have that much confluences with the setups. That's the whole thing. The asset, it's not really expanding or contracting in a big way, and it doesn't give you just the space, just like to trade in a bigger moves, I would say. So the best part is just to limit it really on the weekly plays. I think it would be really nice to keep that on this kind of a direction. Now, no doubt that ETH BTC, it is strong, no doubt. He just moved really in an aggressive way. If you guys remember the long that I was talking about it from around these levels, when we played this move to the upper side, they repeated the same area and then started trading to the upper side. I think still this one, it has the room to come to this area and to sweep these levels, and then from there we will see what exactly it's going on. But that's a kind of direction that we would have it here. ETH BTC, it's looking strong just because it's coming again from a major retrace that it happened after this strong move to the upper side. But again, if you will look at it, that's just the range, so you can really move to the upper side, still come back later on into to lower levels, and then later on we will see like really how exactly it's going to be looking into the next year. If I'm looking also at ETH BTC into a kind of 3 months time frame candles, that's a nice 3 months candle, but as long as you're not really getting like any acceptance above these levels, which is it's the area that we rejected from it here on a quarterly basis, then you don't have really like, let's say, the room to go to the upper side. The moment that you start getting the acceptance here, yeah, fine. You might trade these highs, you might trade these highs, and you might start coming, into this imbalances that we do have it here, just from a clean, I would say, monthly and 3 months play. So looking at the monthly plays, this is the area that you do have it into ETH BTC. I would say as long as you can hold this area, then fine, reclaim into this. It opens the way, like, let's say, to trade to the upper side. If you struggled here and you started trading into this, then again, that's the way how you'd be looking at it. This is definitely an area that we broke down from it, and yeah, you might just like start chopping and reject from here and start coming a little bit into these levels. But I think on ETH BTC, it has the room to go to the upper side, just as ETH BTC, but it doesn't mean that ETH it's going to go to the upper side. If BTC really, it's going to come like, let's say, 5-6% to the downside. So you need just to put that into the same direction. If I would be looking at Sol, things are, I wouldn't be saying like, let's say, too different, but Sol, you need to look at it first of all into this kind of place. First of all, if I do have something as a major level to look into it to see an acceptance above it, I need really to see an acceptance above the 142, 144 level, just from looking like, let's say, as a kind of the area that you would be expecting like Sol to get an acceptance above it and to start trading into this candle as just like a normal monthly range. We didn't, by the way, sweep previous month. It's still on the table. We can sweep previous month, but still also on a sweep of, let's assume that we swept previous month. My play here, if I want to be a little bit aggressive into the play, I would be looking into Sol to sweep this area and to come to trade a little bit lower, deviate from here. And in order to get the bias for the long, I need to see it getting an acceptance here. So the idea for it, it's not like I'm aiming really to catch, like, let's say, major plays. It's not the whole thing, I'm not aiming really to catch the bottom. I want something to rely on it, that the price started shifting and I started trading to the upper side. That's the whole thing that I will be looking at it. So the whole point from here, if I'm looking at this, I want just to see some kind of a deviation from here. If in case an acceptance above it, then fine, we go with this. Could this happen, like, let's say, in the coming few days? Very possible. And if it's gonna happen, then fine, we do have like a little bit of few days that we can trade it into till the end of the month. So that's something just to consider and to keep it in your mind. So that's a kind of a structure. Anything above these levels, then fine, we would be looking for higher levels to come, if in case we didn't trade anything to lower levels, or we didn't do anything like, let's say, from the lower side. So that's a kind of a direction that I do have it. I cleared for you before, like, let's say, Zcash. I mean, there is really nothing for me to do it other than, like, let's say, moving to the upper side. If in case, still, like, you managed to trade at around these levels, it repeated this level by all means, just from some kind of, arranged chop here. Try to move a little bit to the upper side, come back, repeat this level from here, then reclaim to this area. Fine, maybe we can get another play, like, let's say, for a continuation to the upper side. It has the potential to go to the upper side. But honestly speaking, for me, the play was from here toward this area, and just like from a range, it's just the way how I think about it. Now, holding above this area and holding above these two levels, then definitely you do have the potential to continue to the upper side. But for me, done. Like, this is the range. It's more than enough as a play, and the way how exactly we played it, it's just like the 28, 29%. It's more than enough, right? So that's the whole play. Now, Speaking of Hyperliquid, look, I do have a few things to talk to you about Hyperliquid. Now, if we want to look like, let's say, for something as yearly candles. Now, this is definitely the pivot on the yearly. 3 months time frame candle, it's looking heavy. So there is no point, like let's say, to think about this, that it's gonna reverse in a sudden and it's gonna start moving to the upper side blindly. There is no point, you know. So if I'm looking at something, I'm looking at it at the same exact way of how exactly I'm playing it. First of all, if I'm looking at this, there is really a decent area that we do have it here, that it's coming on Hyperliquid. Could we trade, like let's say, all the way to the downside? Very possible. Would I be interested on grabbing, like let's say, some kind of a spot at around these levels? Maybe, but definitely not catching, like let's say, a falling knife. So I'd be just extremely cautious when it's coming to these kind of a plays. Because for me, the whole idea of this is just, to see the price reacting at around these levels. Now, at the same time, if I'll be looking at something at areas like, let's say, that possible, that, like let's say, to see this area that it's reacting in a clean way and it's giving us like some kind of reaction and some kind of a direction, maybe I would say, if you would be looking at it like all of this area, no, at somewhere at around these levels, and if it's gonna trade these lows, then fine, we might look for the price to base out here, start sustaining a little bit, start showing some kind of a strength, and if we started moving to the upper side, then fine. This will put us in some kind of a structure that, if you will go back, by the way, on Twitter, you're gonna find me talking about the 56 region as like really as an extended area for Hyperliquid. It was long time ago, 2 to 3 months ago. You can go, like let's say, on Twitter to check it. So if it's extended, then just like make sure you bank some profits. The same thing that it happened also on Zcash. Zcash, when I spoke to you guys about it, it was exactly I mean, I put even the levels for you at around these levels. I think it was the 720 region. It is overextended, and when it's overextended, you just don't want, like let's say, to chase like an asset that it's overextended, because after that, that's what would happen. And then after that, cool. Like if it's gonna cool off and it's gonna start showing me some kind of a price action, I can get the best out of it. But I don't want really to chase something. I don't want to do that. All right. So that's a whole way of how exactly I'm thinking about it, or I'm playing it, and I'm looking at things. I know it's not maybe the best, when it's coming to some kind of aggressive plays, and everyone is just looking to all-time high. Look, when it's coming to swings, we can swing. But if the price is really not offering like swing opportunity, why I would really trap myself by keep round tripping the asset, and round tripping, like let's say, um, just my profits. It's not really, like let's say, something nice to do it and to look at it. As an example, we traded last week. We traded literally these two trades where I gave you the setups, and you can go check, like let's say, X, and you can go check the setups when we played it. We played literally these two plays last week. All right, we didn't have anything other than these plays. But why would I even round the trip? A trade. It's not about having, one to end up by 1 to 9, 1 to 10 risk reward. It's not the point. That's not the point. But you are in a profit, so why you want really to end up in a loss? Like that's the whole thing. When the market is offering really chances for, like let's say, swing trades, don't worry about it. It's gonna be too clear when it's coming to shifting from a downtrend to an uptrend. But this will take time. You can't say, "Oh, this is a bottom, BTC bottom." What kind of a bottom is this? Like, is is there a possibility that we bottom? Yes, but I mean, it's not really a strong formation, so I can rely on it to say that it's bottoming. So that's like really, like let's say, like a whole like let's say summary for how exactly I do see things. Now let me put also like a kind of direction for you guys, especially that we still have a probability to come to these levels. Absolutely, we still have the like a decent chance to come to these levels. Like BTC can literally tumble down from here. But for me, in order to make things easier, I'm treating it as just full ranges. How? By 75, 82, that's a range. Now here we do have like a decent liquidity that it's coming at around these levels. Could we play it from here and then we get some kind of decent reversals at around these levels? Very possible. Could we trade even to lower levels, 75, and sweep all these liquidity that it's here, and then after that to start reversing? Yes. Could we even drop lower? Also, yes. But in order to make things easier for me, that's the whole thing that I'm looking at it. Range, into a range, into another range. So just to make it easier and to make it, that I can get the best out of it when it's coming to intra-week, these are just like nice moves. If you will be able to catch 3.5, 4, 5% moves in it, that's amazing. That's really a clean play that we can rely on it. So that's all, guys, from my side. I really don't want to make this like, let's say, to be a long video for you. I just wanted to review for you these assets. And for me, as I said before, for me, it's too important when I'm looking at these kind of an asset that I want really to trade assets that I can give you, like, let's say, full or detailed information about it. I'll keep Uniswap a little bit, like, let's say, to another video. So I won't make this, like, let's say, a very long video for you guys. Because I mean, if the market is still it's not really giving, like, a full clarity on where exactly we will be heading. So it's just, just keep things just too simple when it's coming to this. But I am still interested in trading Uniswap. It's been one of the assets that we traded it, like, quite a lot when it's coming to these things. So that's all for today. I hope you will find benefits in this video, and let's see what exactly the market is going to bring us in December. But again, end of the year, it's going to be really trading on a low volume. So try just to be extremely careful when it's coming to these things. Wish you all the best. Wish you also an amazing end of the year. Wish you and your families also a happy new year, that it's going to bring you whatever kind of thing that you wish for it. Stay safe, guys, and we'll catch up with you later on. Cheers. Bye bye.